should the party go? The next few days? The next few weeks?
All summer long, baby! We NBA champ!
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip.
Thank you. And like they said, enjoy this moment, and have fun with it. Ha, ha, ha.
Hello, Slurred Word sports fans. It is July 14th. It's Sunday night. Sunday fun day. I had a great Sunday. Just took a nap. Worked out. Got Chinese food. Chinese food is my favorite Sunday thing in the world. Matt, what's your favorite Sunday thing in the world?
Recovery.
Mine's usually Sunday Night Football, but I love Chinese food. Nice nap. It's perfect. It's everything I could want on a Sunday, especially when not much is going on. A little bit of afternoon baseball. That's it. Today's episode, we got the trades. We got the Russell Westbrook trade. We'll talk about Paul George because we never had to discuss that. We'll discuss Federer versus Djokovic, and we'll touch on some Summer League. Matt, is that everything?
Yeah, I do want to say I have not had a great weekend.
Oh.
I went golfing with my dad, the old man. And my dad's better than me, I know it. But it really was unfortunate. We were on a hole, and I hit a drive. It was real good. It was a pretty good drive. I was feeling pretty good about myself. And my dad outdrove me with his 3-wood. And I was just like, it was rough.
He has old man strength. Once you have a kid, you'll be able to outdrive him easy.
You know what? I think he got a very beneficial bounce off the hill.
Oh,
but it was
yeah.
It's one of those
Sure.
where that happened, and I was like, man, and I just already wasn't having a good round.
Yeah,
so,
sure. Yeah, it was the bounce for sure.
But yeah, so that's how my weekend's been.
All right. Well, you went and played golf. You had a good weekend. You can't complain.
Yeah, it was fun. It was hot.
Yeah,
Real
it
hot.
was really hot, really hot.
A lot of sweat. You apply multiple layers of sunscreen. That's a tip for all our readers.
Readers?
All our listeners. We don't have readers.
You
all
can
our
read.
listeners.
No, we have readers. We have some readers. We have some readers.
For our readers and listeners, if they're readers, they're also probably listeners. Well, apply sunscreen. Sometimes, hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to do it at the beginning of 18 and when you make the turn from the clubhouse. When you start 10, reapply.
All right. Well, that's a nice tip, Matt. Thank you for that tip. Let's jump into it. Let's talk. Oh, speaking of sunscreen and a guy who loves insurance claims, what's his State Farm? Is he State Farm?
Yeah.
State Farm. Cliff Paul. He'd probably tell you to apply sunscreen. Be safe. Chris Paul. He's now Oklahoma City Thunder, a Thunderite, a Thunderin. I don't even know how you would say that. But he's a Zeus man. Is that what is Zeus God of Thunder?
We call them Stormies.
Oh, he's a Stormy. Chris Paul's the new Stormy. But then we got Russell Westbrook. Let's talk about it, Matt. You're a Thunder fan, so I think this one hits a little bit harder. First reaction, let's go.
Well, okay, it does. See, this was it was like, man, it was frustrating. This is how it went for me, and I don't think frustrating is the right word. I'm hearing rumors that Kawhi is just going to go back to Toronto. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, he's going to go back to Toronto. I was like, it makes sense. It makes sense. So go to sleep. And I wake up to the morning, and you had texted me. I think you texted me Kawhi to the Clippers. And then you're like, oh, Paul George. And I was like, what? And I looked up, and I saw the trade. And I was like, you got to be, like he went and did it. And it was one of those where it's like, look, Kevin Durant's left. Like, once Kevin Durant leaves your team, it doesn't get much worse. So it's like, okay, that sucks. Like, I get why he wanted to go to LA. He just signed a contract, so that it was unexpected. But we got 4 picks, 2 pick swaps. Like, we got quite a haul from it. And then you started hearing the things about Russ, and it was like, I think it took us a second, the Thunder, to be like, okay, We've rebuilt. We've retooled. We've had Russ, and we've retooled before. It didn't work. Are we even going to try to? Because we're not going to get another Paul George. We're not going to. They just aren't available. And if they are, they're not going to sign for the Thunder. And it just became more and more apparent that Russ was going to get moved. And so, it was one of those where it's like, at the end of the day, you can't even be mad. We traded him. We traded him where he wanted to. I hope Houston is where he wanted to go. But he's, I don't think I've ever seen a player give more for a team just on a nightly basis than Russell Westbrook. So the Thunder are going to suck. I want the Thunder to win a ring next year. If they don't win a ring next year, I want the Rockets to win a ring, and I want Russ to get one. I mean, that's just how I feel. I think that's how a lot of Oklahoma City fans feel.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook, a true Stormy. Was he ever a supersonic-y?
He was drafted by the Supersonics, and then they moved to Oklahoma.
So he was the last of the Sonics too. So
you know who the last person? Jeff Green was the last.
Oh.
Jeff Green and Kevin Durant, but Jeff Green was drafted the year after Kevin Durant. He was the last draft pick to play in a Sonics uniform. Then they drafted Russ. It's actually quite incredible. Another thing I do want to say about this. Sorry, I'm kind of hogging this.
No,
I'm
okay.
very excited because Sam Presti is actually a pretty fantastic GM, and he picks really good draft picks because he had a run. Listen to this run. He had a run where he got Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, who didn't pan out, but Jeff Green, has been a contributing player for a playoff team in Cleveland. You got Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, and Steve Adams, in 6 years or something like that. Or I think it was like there might have been a gap year in between it, but he got all those players in 7 years.
Did he draft
which
Anthony
is absurd.
Morrow?
What?
Did he draft Anthony Morrow? It doesn't matter.
No,
I was just curious.
I think Anthony Morrow was a trade piece with Kevin Martin, right?
Maybe. I don't
No.
know. I have no idea. I can't remember. But anyway, it
I don't
doesn't
know.
matter. I was just curious. Did he draft Campaign?
Yes.
Oh, another great pick.
We did
A
draft
summer
Campaign.
league superstar.
Well, Campaign was actually looking really good. I was upset when we traded Campaign away, but he was hurt, and he ended up not really recovering from his injury, and it was definitely the right move. But I actually liked him because he could shoot a little bit. He could kind of handle the ball, and he, like him and Russ used to do their dances together, hype the team up.
Do you think Campaign has a shot? He's having a great summer league. The 8-year vet, proven out, showing his worth in the summer league. Maybe he'll join the Rockets and he'll reunite with Westbrook. Anyway,
Anthony Morrow was undrafted.
Really? Okay.
Yep, undrafted. He was signed by the Warriors, and then I think he was in the Kevin Martin trade, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Which, of course, is the Harden trade.
Let's come back. We'll come back for the Thunder. I want to talk about the Thunder after this. I want to talk more about Westbrook, James Harden, what we're expecting for next season, the dynamic of that team. I'm excited for it because I think the problem we had with James Harden is he's carrying too much of a load for the Rockets. He's getting tired. He's fatigued by the playoffs. And I think Russell Westbrook's going to really help with that load management thing that's become a real big deal in the last few years. You saw it with Kawhi this year. I think it's only going to benefit the Rockets. And I'm excited for it. I really want to see it.
Well, so the real problem is because and it's actually something that I think we've talked about before, or at least I've talked about before with LeBron, is when he is the central part of this offense, when you remove him from it, Russell Westbrook is good enough to plug in. But for a player to be good enough to plug into that system, they don't want the backup role. They don't want to be the guy that runs the system for 18 minutes a night. They want to be the guy that runs the system for 32 minutes a night. And so, go ahead.
I think you're saying, the 18, 22 minutes. I didn't mean to cut you off because you were about to get to it. But I don't think that's what's going to be happening. Because I think D'Antoni is like the perfect offense for a James Harden, Russell Westbrook offense. Because you're going to get more possessions because they're going to run fast. They're going to play faster. And they want to push the tempo. They want to push the ball. I think it's everything they wanted. I think this is what they wanted. What they got, Chris Paul. They wanted a guy that could push the ball up the floor. He could create spacing, and he could find his shooters in the corner, and he'd create his scoring through fast break points. I think he's trying to recreate that Suns team a little bit. We know what D'Antoni does with the offense.
Yeah.
We do. He's a guru of offense. He doesn't know how to coach defense. Offensive guru. I don't know. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's going to be awesome. I really do. I'm really excited for it. I think the Rockets might be one of the favorites to win the West.
I think with LeBron and AD and Paul George and Kawhi just over there, I think that it's got to be one of those Lakers teams or the LA teams, and there's not a question. The thing I have a couple things that I like, a couple things that I don't like for the Rockets. Things that I like are, one, Russell Westbrook has never had a paint that's going to be so open as he has now, and he's a very good passer. That's the thing. He led the league in assists this past year, and people will point to his usage, and yes, there is a little bit of when the ball's in your hand 50% of the time, you're going to be able to find assists.
You would hope, yeah.
But at the same time, if you watch it, he's very good at passing. He's very good at attacking and getting to guys that are cutting. Just dumping the ball off to someone in the lane for a dunk. And I'm excited to see what he does. This will be the most wide open paint he's ever played in. I mean, and really, he should be able to just attack the paint as ferociously as he wants. The problem is, he very much likes to take low efficiency shots, and he kind of does it to see, okay, if I make this three, I get this three going. There's no, you can't stop him. Because if Russell Westbrook can hit threes, there's nothing you can do against him. He's just unstoppable. But he made him at a 25-30% clip last season.
I don't know
that does not work in Morey's offense. That does not work in D'Antoni's offense.
I agree. That was the one negative I was about. You were bringing it up, and I was like, yeah, that's probably the thing you don't want when Harden's driving. If you can't trust Westbrook to make that shot, you really want him to make that shot. Otherwise, he's just kind of taking up space on the floor for actual shooters. But go ahead. I like the move still. Go ahead. I know you were still talking. Keep making your point.
I don't know. I like it. So I think that, one, we'll have to see how they stagger them, Two, Harden can be, he can be a spot-up shooter. He can be very dangerous as a spot-up shooter. And the other thing that I think Harden's going to benefit a lot from, if Russell can attack the paint and then get it out to Harden, you're at such a disadvantage when you're guarding Harden one-on-one. If you're guarding him one-on-one and you're having to scramble to get back into position, he's going to draw a foul on you every single time, or he's going to hit you with the step back. That's what's going to happen. And so I think that'll be interesting. The question is, are Westbrook and Harden going to be able to stay engaged when the other guy has the ball? Are they going to be able to be engaging and, aware offensive players off ball? If they can do that, this Rocket team is going to be very, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, I agree with that. The trade alone, I really like the trade for the. I know you like the trade for. I think you like the trade for the Thunder. I'm pretty positive you do, but I like the trade for the Rockets because from what I was hearing, what they were going to get from Chris Paul, I didn't think they were going to get anything. I was like, they're going to have to give away picks. They did have to give away picks essentially. But in return, you get Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook alone is worth 2 first-rounders. He's probably worth more than that. And then you get rid of Chris Paul, a guy they don't trust anymore. There's conflict with him and Harden. It hasn't worked out. He's aging. He can't stay healthy. It's just, it wasn't working out. I don't know how well Chris Paul is going to be anymore in the league. I hate the contract for the Thunder. We'll see if they move him. We'll talk more about that later. But as just speaking from the Rockets and Daryl Morey, I'm a huge fan of the move. I think they made probably the best possible move they could make for Chris Paul.
Yeah. Well, so the big thing for the Thunder, and the reason we traded Jeremy Grant, which I don't know if we'll even really touch on that.
Well, I want to touch on the Thunder moves more. I want to just break down the Rockets.
Well, then that'll deal more with that. But we are under the luxury tax, which seems like a miracle. Or I don't know if we're under it. We just if we renounce somebody, we're under it. Like we could waive someone and be under it.